Not yet. Okay.
Tonight.
Oh, it comes out tonight. Gotcha. Okay.
Hopefully our mics have been cut.
I'm pretty sure you guys' mics are off.
Okay. Welcome back, and we have a full exciting show for you here today. We are talking Dune Part 2's box office projections and the Rotten Tomatoes score. Bill Skarsgard's first look of him as the Crow. Quintin Tarantino has signed 2 new actors for his film The Movie Critic. Destin Daniel Cretton has been signed on to direct the live-action Naruto, and spring break is right around the corner. What we are recommending for you to watch during that time. Let's get into it. Roundtable, where we give you the best Hollywood-related news on YouTube. I am your host, Josh Williams.
I'm your host, Jordan Burke. And I'm Addie. Hi.
We have Addie here for the first time on the show.
Yay.
You did your first cinema sit-down this week.
Oh, yeah.
How you feeling? Feeling excited?
Oh, yeah. I'm feeling really excited about this. I do get to talk about movies with my family and stuff, but I'm really excited to, like, get together with people to, like, really talk about movies.
I think you're a lot like me and Jordan. Like, I talk about movies and TV shows and Hollywood stuff all the time.
Oh, yeah.
And we kind of briefly talked about it beforehand, but, like, my wife, it's not really her thing. She'll go to the movies with me every once in a while. But, like, she told me a long time ago, she's like, honey, you need to get an outlet because I'm tired of you talking to this stuff about with me. And so, like, here I am. And I started my channel.
Yeah.
Oh, how's everybody? So, spring break is around the corner. We'll get to that here in a little bit. But we got planned?
I'm thinking about getting a haircut. Haven't decided
No.
yet. I know.
Really?
I love the long hair, but I'm kind of over it. I'm thinking like collarbone,
Ooh.
sort of.
Okay.
That's going to look good.
Maybe. We'll
yeah.
see.
That's gonna
I'm not sure.
feeling adventurous.
What you got planned?
I think just work, spending time with family. And Planet Comic-Con is coming, so.
I know.
Gonna
Don't
go to
remind me.
that.
I
Sorry,
can't go.
sorry.
I can't.
So
I'm missing so many people who I've like
jealous.
died to meet in person, and I'm
Yeah.
not gonna be able to.
Yeah.
Please take pictures.
Oh,
Yes,
oh,
lots
send
of
them
pictures.
most definitely.
Share 'em on
most
the group
definitely.
chat.
I
Yeah.
will. I'm so excited.
Me, well, we'll be in the studio next week. Keep a lookout, guys, for next Thursday. We'll be giving
Check
you
it
a
out.
get to know each other about Jordan and I, kind of get to know each other, and we'll answer some questions. If you guys have a question for us and you'd like us to answer it, we will drop a description in the description box below afterwards. It's not going to be here live, but I will drop one there for you to go there, send it to email to there, and we will answer your questions next week if we can get to them all.
Absolutely.
For me, spring break, I'm going to be at home, chill, hang out with my kid, play Magic, work, who knows, whatever I feel like it. Sleep in if I want to.
Do
I haven't
it.
done that in
Might as
forever.
well.
All right, but let's start off with our first segment of today, guys. You ready for this? So Dune
ready.
Part 2 is set to come out tonight as we were recording. It's coming out, premiering tonight at 7 for most theaters.
It is.
As it sits right now, it has a 95% on Rotten Tomatoes with 218 reviews. And then also, according to Deadline, it is predicted to make $170 million globally. And so, given that, and right now for U.S. itself, it's predicted to be anywhere between $85 and $90 million. Now, before, the first Dune had about, what did you say the Rotten Tomatoes score was? I can't remember.
The first one is 83.
83%.
83%.
Now,
And
so I'm
then-
gonna come with so I'm gonna come with you that one. Given that the first one had 83%, and it only made, and not only, but the first Dune made $434 million on a $165 million budget. How do you see? Do you think this could be a much bigger success than the original?
I think it can. I mean, with the scores, Rotten Tomatoes has it at 95% right now. We don't have an audience score because it hasn't come out yet, but
Right.
the audience score for the first one for Dune was 90%, which is pretty high. I think it's going to do good. It has a fantastic cast: Austin Butler, Timothée Chalamet, Zendaya, Florence Pugh, Christopher Walken. Jason Momoa is also in this. I did not realize that.
Yeah.
But
Really?
Anya Taylor-Joy.
Anya Taylor-Joy's in it too.
Fantastic.
I didn't know
she
she
was
was in that too.
very
He actually,
phenomenal.
Denis actually did an interview when it finally came out that she was going to be in it. He kept her close to the chest on purpose,
Yep.
which makes me wonder
Really?
why.
Why?
And it actually excites me because she's
amazing.
Yeah.
She
Yeah.
has such a range.
I was about to say.
actually
she's
one of the.
good.
She did a show that I'm actually going to recommend people watch when we get to our discussion of the week. It's a really great show for her. But yeah, I think it could. But given all those factors, I
Yeah.
actually kind of highly agree with you. I will say the first one, yeah, it made a decent amount, but it wasn't like 165 million on a 434 million dollar budget is not.
Yeah.
Right.
It's still profitable, but it's not there.
Right.
Like, so have you seen the first Dune? And did you actually watch it like you were hoping
I
to?
tried. It's
Ah.
2.5 hours.
Okay.
Right.
I did
Yeah.
not
I've
have
only
time.
seen a little bit of it.
You've only
but-
seen a little bit of it,
yeah.
but so are you going to be one of the people who go check it out this weekend after you finish the first
You know,
one? Or?
I might wait a little bit until
Okay.
I fully have like, had that thought of like taking in the first one and then just being like, okay, now is it worth it to go
Is
to
it
the
worth
second
it?
one, kind of thing.
Yeah.
But most likely I will end up watching it because if there is a sequel, I tend to normally watch the sequel after because it's like, well, now I got to know
Now I
more.
gotta-
I got to
Yeah.
know more about the
Right.
story and stuff.
Are you a completionist, like kind of like me?
I'm very much
Yeah.
a completionist. I got
Even if it's horrible, I'm like, oh, I gotta finish out, see how the story ends. Like, I have no
Exactly.
choice. But how do you feel? Like, so, how are you feeling about like as far as the box office projection? We see it here. Do you think that's kind of on par? Or do you think with the buzz that's going around with the Rotten Tomatoes score that it could possibly make more? Well, opening weekend.
Yeah, most likely. I think kind of as well what Jordan was saying. I think more people, because who doesn't love Zendaya? I mean,
Right.
come on. And
Exactly.
I think a lot of people, at least what I have heard, want to go see it primarily just because she's also in it. But even just like looking at the trailer, I feel like this is going to be way more not that the first one isn't interesting, but that this one will be way more interesting.
I will say this one. Denis had an interview, said there's going to be a lot more action to it. That's because the first half he's made it into a book. The first two
Right.
book parts are from the book. First half of the book is all about setup, kind of getting to know these characters, and you start leading into what's eventually going to. It's kind of like Fellowship of the Ring. There's not as
Right.
nearly as much action as there's in like Two Towers or Return of the King.
Yeah.
It's kind of that same idea. Is that in this one there's going to be way more action. There's going to be way more stuff going on. And I think it's still, for Dune Part 2, it's still 2 hours and 46 minutes long. Whoo! I better use
That's a
the
journey.
restroom before I go see this one. My
Yeah.
goodness. But no, I mean, I think given all of that and the buzz that's circling it because there is going to be more action and there is going to be more Zendaya. I know there was a kind of a complaint with that she was
yeah.
only in like half the film.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But her character only shows up like
Halfway through.
halfway through the book itself.
Right, exactly.
Because it's not till, I don't want to spoil anything, but it's not till certain events happen is when you actually get to meet her.
Right.
So I'm excited for this one. I think it's going to be Florence Pugh's in it. That's
Love
like my
Florence
Hollywood
Pugh.
girlfriend. I mean, I
Florence
love
Pugh.
Florence Pugh. Midsommar, Fighting with
Oh,
My
yeah.
Family when she
Oh,
played
yeah.
Paige. Like certain ones like
She's
that,
good.
she's amazing. I'm excited to see what she does. And Austin Butler coming off of Elvis and a few other stuff he's been going on. I'm curious to see how he's going to play with his role as a I can't pronounce it. How do you pronounce it? Harkonnen. There we go. Thank you, Nolan. Esteemed floor director Nolan and Sam over there back there that might give their input here a little bit later. But more importantly, guys, what do you think of this news? What do you think of the Rotten Tomatoes score and the box office projections? Do you think it will make more, or do you think it will make less? Jump in the comments in the section below and let us know your thoughts. All right, let's move on here now to our second topic of the day. For our second topic today, Variety released a few first looks at Bill Skarsgard as the Crow. Now you'll kind of see them here as they come across the screen for you. There's not much, but this one right here is what everyone is talking about. Now, for who between the two of you, I know Nolan's seen The Crow, I think, right? And have you seen The Crow, Sam? No. It released back in 1990. It's a very old film. This is when Brandon Lee, Bruce Lee's son, played him, but he, of course, had an accident and died. But have either of you seen the first Crow?
I've seen parts, but I haven't actually sat down and watched the entire thing
okay.
yet.
It's the same with me.
Same with you. Okay, so given just, I guess, so minus all of that, because a lot of people are just nervous because Brandon Lee did such a good job as the character that they're just worried about anybody else will just ruin or tarnish the legacy. But just given off the stills and knowing what we know about Bill Skarsgård, what are you thinking about these stills?
So, Bill's great, you know? I mean,
Pennywise?
he is, I was about to say, he hasn't been in a lot of stuff I've seen, but the stuff I have seen him in, he is a phenomenal actor. He's really, really good. It's just one of those where it's like, you know, The Crow was great. It was awesome. Let's leave it alone.
Yeah.
I don't know if we
touching it.
need it.
Right.
I think it'll still be cool and entertaining, but it's not. I just don't think it's going to be compared to the first one. Like,
Okay.
But that's just me.
What about you? So how do you, seeing the stills, like knowing the news that's coming around, what do you think about it?
I agree with Addie. I think the first one, like you were talking about, it's a cult classic. It has such a big following. People love it. I personally feel like if it's good, leave it alone. Don't remake it. But if they're gonna remake it, I personally think Bill Skarsgård is a perfect role for it. He has a lot of range. He can get into that, kind of we were talking about, he's an anti-hero. That he can get into that mindset, into that personality. Yeah. I think if they're gonna redo it, they might as well do it with him.
I'm in full agreement with that one because Bill Skarsgård, at least for me in the 2010s, has more than proved himself as a great character actor.
Right.
I still, to this day, feel like it was a travesty that he did not get nominated for playing Pennywise.
Yeah.
I know he had makeup on, and I know it's a horror film, but that's a whole other topic about the Academy's like refusal to nominate horror stuff, like horror actors in horror films. But what he did in that performance was, to me, groundbreaking, and it was incredible. And the fact that he didn't get nominated was, to me, wrong. But he did other stuff. I mean, he was in Deadpool 2 briefly, but not too much. He was in Barbarian, which we had talked about. He was amazing.
You should check it
in.
out. It's so good.
And then he also did. He was in John Wick Chapter 4, which he played more of kind of like a guy in a suit, but he still. I feel like the subtlety in his acting, I think, is where it really shines.
Yeah.
And this is a character that really needs that because he's such a conflicting character. If you know anything about The Crow.
Right.
And so I'm really excited to see what he can do with this. Also, in the same vein, he's going to be in the new Nosferatu, playing Count Orlok, who is I believe is the vampire itself. So having him play that is actually exciting too.
I was going to say that's actually
cool.
really exciting.
We haven't got any set for stills for that, but when we do, I want to see those.
Yeah, yeah.
But all right, guys, we're gonna move on here. But what do you guys think of Bill Skarsgård playing in The Crow? Leave your comments in the section below. Let us know your thoughts. All right, well, let's move on here now to Quintin Tarantino. Yeah. According to Screen Rant here, Quintin Tarantino's movie, The Film Critic, he is reportedly hired on Brad Pitt and Tom Cruise to play in some big roles within his film. They haven't released like what specifically, but I do know Brad Pitt is playing in the starring role. And it's funny, I just now, before we started the show, read the description of the Movie Critic, and I'm actually giggling about it a little bit. So here we go. Quentin Tarantino's 10th and final film, The Film Critic, is a movie set in California in the 70s time frame, and it centers around a film critic who works in the porn magazine industry.
Ooh, interesting.
Oh.
So I think Brad Pitt's going to be playing that role, who's the movie critic, which would be extremely interesting. But we already know about it, but I want to see you guys in the comment section, if you can, put it in there. When was the last time Brad Pitt and Tom Cruise were in a role together? And I'll kind of count down from 5 and see if anybody does it. Or even in the description box, I want to quiz you. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Who was it?
Interview with the Vampire.
Interview with the Vampire.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe released in 1990, I believe, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
I can't remember exactly, but that was the last time they were together. So, Jordan, are you excited off of this? I mean, I'm excited, but are you also conflicted because this is Tarantino's last film directing?
It is. I love Tarantino so much. I love him so much. He is so
Nolan
good.
doesn't. Nolan does not like Tarantino.
Nolan.
Right? I think
I'm
she's about to
heartbroken.
fire a floor director here in about 2 seconds.
Okay.
Say.
He goes, I didn't say anything. But I love Tarantino. I think as film students, Tarantino is someone you need to look at. So I'm very sad that this is his last movie. But if he needs to stop, he needs to stop. He knows what's best for him. I am, however, I'm excited to see Brad Pitt and Tom Cruise together. I know that Interview with the Vampire has not had the best reputation.
No.
Not many people liked it, but I think give him a second chance. I'm excited. I'm very excited.
Well, this was back in there right before like they both really took off. I mean,
Yeah.
Tom Cruise kind of started taking off
It was
around
in
that
their
time.
like prime.
Yeah, but
Early
after
days
that, I feel
still.
like is when they really, really took off with
Yeah.
their careers. Especially Brad Pitt, and now Tom Cruise is kind of getting a resurgence with his. They're both incredible actors. I mean, Tom Cruise, he's played some roles that I will always like. You don't really think about him because since they're action roles, that they wouldn't be like good dramatic roles. But like for Maverick, he was great in it as well.
Right.
Your mom's obsessed with Tom Cruise, like Risky Business and like
Risky Business.
all those other ones.
I feel like a lot of moms think Tom Cruise is
Oh, yeah.
I was about to
quite an
say.
attractive.
And like
Yeah.
from like Top Gun
Gentleman.
and all those things.
Top
But like, or
Gun's
even
good.
like, oh, why am I blanking on this? A Few Good Men. To me, one of his best, acting roles I think he did. But what about you, Ratty? Like, how are you feeling about this? Is Tom Cruise? Not Tom Cruise. This is Quentin Tarantino's last film. But how are you feeling like they will do as far as their dynamic for this type of film?
I think Tom Cruise and Brad Pitt. I think in the Interview with the Vampire, they did a good job like with each other on the film. No, it was not the most amazing film. Why are you looking at me like that back there? Anyway, but I will say, like, as far as like Quentin Tarantino, I am very middle ground with that, I guess. Like,
Right.
there are movies that he's made that I'm like, oh yeah, I like that. But I mean, I don't know if I'm like obsessed or anything. Not calling you obsessed or anything. I'm
mean, you
sorry.
can.
Not
I'm
that,
fine with it.
Not that I'm like I'm not obsessed with it or anything. But I just, I think he's an okay director for his vision that he's making. You know what I
You
mean?
definitely have to like that style. If you don't like the
Exactly.
style, you don't like him.
Exactly.
And that's very understandable.
Right.
Like, you just think of the movies he's directed, like Pulp Fiction, Inglourious Bastards, Kill Bills,
That is, yeah.
Django
that's true.
Unchained, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Reservoir Dogs, Jackie Brown. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
I mean,
But
those,
if they're not your taste,
they're not your
Exactly,
taste. That's
exactly.
fine.
You're not
I just-
gonna like
man,
them.
those movies are just,
Understandable.
for me, they're extremely iconic within the cinephile world.
That's true too.
Okay, you like
That one
Inglourious
is-
Bastards.
that
okay,
is a
good.
good
No
one.
one likes
That is a
that
good
one.
one.
just admitted
That
he
opening
loves
scene,
Tarantino.
that-
What he just said, basically.
Yep.
Yeah, he loves them so much.
But that opening scene just goes to show of like Inglourious Bastards alone. That just shows his directing and how he can bring performances out of his actors
Yeah.
the right way and the movements of the camera. That opening scene to me is one of the best opening scenes
Yeah.
I've ever seen. But for me, other than the two actors, I am excited for it. I am curious to see. I would love to have him do an interview as why he chose this particularly.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm only speculating that he does have a really love-hate relationship with movie critics. So maybe this is kind of for them.
That's
does.
true. That's
He
true.
does.
Yeah.
He's not a big fan of movie critics, so maybe this is kind of some kind of weird love letter
Like
to them
a-
in a weird way. I don't know, or if he's trying to make fun of them. But
Like a middle finger to.
Yeah, I was
He
about
would
to
do
say.
that.
I just hope,
He would do
Yeah,
that.
he would. Yeah. No. I agree.
I just hope that since this is his last film, that it goes up with a bang, because I
Yeah.
list off some very iconic things that he
Right.
has written and directed, and won Oscars for and stuff like that. So we will see. I'm sad to see him go, but this doesn't mean he's still going to produce. He says he's not going to actually quit directing.
Oh.
He is going to quit directing, but he's not going to stop producing. So he still will be
Oh,
around the
okay.
Hollywood
Still be out
industry.
Okay, so he'll still
He's
be
just
he'll still
done
be around.
directing. Yeah, he'll still be around. He might write
Good.
some stuff for some people, but he's just done. This is his last film directing for himself. So.
Gotcha. Okay.
All right, folks. What do you think of this news? Are you excited for Quentin Tarantino, or are you saddened that this is his last film? And what do you think about Tom Cruise and Brad Pitt coming together again for the Movie Critic? Leave your comments in that section below and let us know your thoughts. All right, so let's move. We're actually going off pretty well here. That gives us time for the
Flying through.
discussion of the week. This one I'm kind of a little, I'm not say excited to talk about, but I'm interested because I have never watched the cartoons. But according to the NBC News, Shang-Chi director Destin Daniel Cretton is set to write and direct an adaptation for a live-action Naruto. Now, did you watch any of the Naruto cartoons?
No, because I thought it was a little boring. But
Oh.
Wow.
but
Hot take.
but I am a really big anime fan.
You are.
And I do try anytime that they do make a live action anime adaptation, I do try to watch it. Not all the time are they great.
Yeah, I agree with
the
that.
only like really good one that I've seen and it's a show is the One Piece show on Netflix.
One Piece is pretty great.
That is amazing. That they did such a good job.
I was really happy. I did binge and watch Last Airbender too as well.
Oh yeah.
I liked it quite a bit. It
The
wasn't
live
nearly as good as One Piece. I even kind of like Cowboy Bebop personally.
Oh yeah. I
That one
forgot
was
about
pretty good
that
too. But what I want to ask you too is, have you seen Shang-Chi?
No, I haven't seen that one.
Ooh, okay.
No,
Well,
I want
so
to though.
he-
A lot
You
of people
should.
said it's good.
You would like it.
I'm curious to I was curious to hear your thoughts on the idea that they brought on a director who really knows martial arts very well.
Yes.
And how do you think they did as far as landing that kind of role? And also, how do you feel about it's Lionsgate who's producing them? Now, I think we can all agree Lionsgate is hit or miss when it comes to their adaptations. But how do you feel like Lionsgate coming together and then them hiring him as a director?
Yeah, I think this will be really cool. And like you said, especially if they're adding like when I say natural elements, like actual martial arts to it and stuff like that. Like I feel like that will help a lot with the like realisticness. That's not a word, but you know what I mean.
I know what you're saying. I get what you're
With it,
saying.
yeah.
I mean, I could kind of agree with that. What about you, Jordan? I mean, I know you don't watch any of the cartoons or anything like that, but I know you've seen Shang-Chi.
I have.
And so, given that, knowing how well at least in my opinion, how well the martial arts was it, and I want to hear your thoughts on how that was. How do you think he will do writing and directing a show that's actually, a movie that is martial arts based?
I have hopes that's going to be really good. I think by having him direct it with how much knowledge he has of it, it has a lot of potential. If there's a lot of thought into it and a lot of work and like research put into it, I think it could be extremely good.
I think so too. My only hesitation is that it's a movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I know what you're saying.
Something like One Piece or something like Last Airbender now, in my opinion, has greatly benefited from being a TV show because you're able to
it's a show.
spend the time with the characters. You're able to get to like grow attached to them. That way you can go along for the ride. I said it before, I'll say it again. There are certain there are certain animes, there are certain TV shows, or there are certain books that can be adapted into a movie just fine.
Yeah.
Like what's the one Tom Holland was just in? Uncharted. To me, that's a perfect. You
Yeah.
can adapt. It's a video game, yes, but you can adapt that into a movie, no problem. It's a treasure hunt movie. You can do that easy. Something like this, I worry, will suffer from the syndrome of them trying to rush it too much.
Yeah.
Because Hollywood's, especially something like Lionsgate, they want their movies try to be like 2 hours,
Right.
which makes me wonder if they'll be able to. Now, he's a great director. I will give him that. He's able to do that. I just worry if something like Naruto, even though I've never seen it, I know people's love and attachment to these characters, if it's given them enough time to grow attached to the characters.
No, that's
you know what I'm saying?
completely fair. Yeah. There's a lot of episodes in it as well, a lot of seasons. And so kind of similar to One Piece where there's just an ungodly amount. No, I agree. It's like really hard to condense that within just a hour
2
or two
hours,
movie.
2.5
Yeah, I was about
hours.
to say there's so much detail, which they're probably not going to put as much, maybe not as much detail because a lot of movies don't do
Right.
that, but I still think it will be good though. I feel like we're getting a little bit better at like actually doing what the show and like the manga actually has
Right.
and putting those actual elements into it.
That and listening to the fans has gotten a lot easier.
Yes,
Like,
very true.
I have for some reason this fear, and I don't know if you guys will agree with me or not. I just have this fear because before the last Airbender movie came out, M. Night Shyamalan was kind of on a roll with his films a little bit, and then Last Airbender came out, and it was god awful. I mean, is that a fear with you guys at all?
A little bit.
A little bit, yeah.
A little bit.
A little bit.
I'm shaking.
I mean, I am because Lionsgate. I would like to think that would you guys also agree that within studios, certain studios, it's the rule that they make good films, or it's the rule that they make bad films, and then sometimes
Yeah.
there's the exception to that rule where they make a real good one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you guys feel like Lionsgate is with adapting books or anime stuff? Because like the most recent thing they did, not most recent, but like Hunger Games, as for example, that's one that that could be like it was good. It was not the best, but I don't know. What do you think? How do you feel about Lionsgate? Do you think they've actually been able to do a good job, or should have just gone to Netflix?
I think it's kind of a 50-50. I personally think Hunger Games was really good. I feel like we always talk about you can't get all the details from the books because the movie would be 8 hours long.
Right.
It's almost impossible to do that. But they've shown good ones. They've also had some that aren't the best. It's kind of, I think it just depends.
What about you, Addie?
I mean, they did make the Twilight series.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, God.
And, excuse me.
Yeah.
The Twilight series is pretty good.
It's
I don't know.
fantastic.
Exactly. So
Amazing.
I'm just okay. The first one maybe not so much, but like as
All of them.
they get
No,
the
they're good.
very
They're
ending
good.
ones are really good.
They're
All of them,
though.
Sam. All of them.
They're good.
Suck.
That is a hot take, but I'm gonna let
Sorry.
that pass for now.
If you guys love them, I am so happy
watch
for
it.
you. If you love them, I am so happy for you. I have watched them all.
Good.
I don't know how I got through them. You like the first one? I mean,
good.
okay.
It's iconic though.
They're
That's
just
what
good.
I'm
They're
saying.
like good to just watch and go, are we really watching this?
Yeah,
we are.
No,
And we love
exactly.
it.
I agree.
It's fun.
The day I saw Vampire glistening and shining
He
in the
sparkles.
sun, I'm like, you gotta
Like
be
a
kidding
diamond.
me.
Yeah.
They're bad in a good way. Okay,
They
That is
are.
true.
I'll
That is
give
true.
you that a little
They're
bit.
bad in a good way.
I will say I did think it was cool in part 2 when the wolves started to show up and what's his name started.
Jacob.
Yeah, him and his family.
Him.
Like him and his family. Like the wolves part of it, I just like that part of it. You know what I'm saying, a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, anyway. Again, there was that. It's that 50-50. Like some people loved Twilight series, some people
That's
hated
true.
it.
Some
That's
people
true.
love them.
But I
some
think
people,
you-
some
like
people
it.
don't.
But I think universally, like it goes to that idea of like what is the expectation we have.
Yeah.
Team Edward or Team Jay? Team Edward. I'm Team Edward. I'm Team Edward.
Yeah, that is true.
Team
just
slam
love
my
Team
head into a wall.
No. What if you had to pick?
He is
If you
such a
had to pick
hater.
one. If you had to pick one.
I was
If
gonna
I
say.
had to, who's the wolf?
You were
guy
yeah,
again?
you were saying you like
Jacob.
Jacob.
Jake. I'll go with Jake.
Oh my gosh. He's Team
Sam
Jacob.
isn't happy about
What was
that.
the line that he said
Our
that I rolled my
floor
eyes
director's
in?
not
They're in
happy.
like this tent, and he goes, "I'll warm up. I am hotter than
I
you
am
are." I'm like,
hotter
that is
than
the
you are."
stupidest
Okay.
line.
Yeah, that was a little uncomfortable, and there's a lot of scenes where it's a little uncomfortable.
Oh, God.
But it doesn't take
I'm so happy
take
you love
away.
them, Addie.
I also,
I-
but like vampires in general are just really
No,
cool.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Cool.
Like, have you ever seen From Dusk Till Dawn? One of my
Yes.
favorite,
Yes.
one of my favorite vampire
So
movies.
good.
Yeah. I was
Love
gonna
that
say.
movie. Have you ever
So-
seen it? No? Oh, it's an old
It's-
one, but it's George Clooney's in it.
Yeah.
And Quentin Tarantino actually is an actor
Tarantino's
in
in
it.
it.
Yeah.
So that's a good one.
Good.
But all right, guys, what do you think of this news with Destin Daniel Cretton set to direct and write the Naruto live-action film? Leave your comments in the section below and let us know your thoughts. All right, we are on the last segment of the day, and spring break is right around the corner for our
Right around the
discussion
corner.
topic of the week. For all of you guys who are going to be sitting at home, probably bored, not knowing what to do, we have some recommendations for you guys, maybe movies to
do.
check out and TV shows as well.
We have plenty.
I have quite a few,
Plenty.
and ones you may not even think about. Now, granted, some of these you may have to have streaming services for. Do apologize, but is it just me? It was like cable's kind of over. Like I have cable, but people like your generation just have streaming services,
Yeah,
right?
I don't have cable at all.
Okay, so like Amazon Prime,
Yeah,
Netflix.
all of that.
Hulu.
Okay,
All
good.
those.
Okay. So let's start off with you, Addie. I'm gonna have you
Oh,
take us
gosh.
off. We're kind of just gonna go round robin, just kind of bring up some
Round
films and some
robin.
movies that we recommend for the audience.
Okay, so these are a little bit older, but I was talking about a movie. It's 1985. It's called Just One of the Guys. I don't know if you've seen that or not, but it's kind of not good in a good way, I guess. It's kind of similar to
a
She
comedy
Is the
romance.
Man.
Oh, okay.
Who I don't remember her name.
Amanda Bynes.
Yes.
Yeah, Amanda Bynes.
Yeah, Amanda Bynes. And it's like they don't take her seriously as like this writer, and so she's like, well, I'll go to a different school dressed up as a guy, and I'm sure that they'll take me seriously. And it's like that kind of thing. So it's also like a romance and stuff because she likes this guy, but like she's dressed as a guy. So there's like
Right.
the conflict of that. But some of the jokes are a little outdated, but not many though. So it's not like they're just like throwing out like homophobic stuff like left and right kind of thing. Like
Well, I mean-
it's like I don't know. I think it's good.
The Goonies their jokes are extremely outdated, but
Yeah,
I
that
mean,
is
I
true.
still
Still a
laugh at 'em.
classic. But that, and then the last one is, this is still also not new, but it's Bates Motel.
Ooh, I've heard of. I haven't seen that
That
yet.
That's good.
I like that one a lot.
Okay.
It kind of it again. Maybe I just like weird stuff. Actually, thinking about it now, but it still kind of tries to follow like the movie and stuff like that. So it's
Okay.
almost like a prequel leading up to the movie. And I think it's really good. It kind of shows like why Norman Bates is so messed up, and I don't know.
Okay.
I think it's pretty cool.
It's good.
But yeah.
That's really good.
Have you seen it? Have you?
I've seen the first season,
Oh, gotcha.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
but
It's really good.
It is good.
It's got 5 seasons, but
5 seasons.
You have to commit.
Is
but-
it still going, or is it?
no,
just
no,
something-
no, no. It
oh,
was
okay.
like 2013 to 2017.
Oh,
So,
okay.
I mean, still got like
That's good.
iPhone 3, so it's a little funny.
iPhone 3.
But
For one of mine, it's on Amazon Prime, and actually the new season's coming out this year. If you guys have not seen it, or if you just want to rewatch it, I think it's worth rewatching. Is The Boys?
yes. Oh my gosh, I'm so glad you were talking about that.
The Boys
Go
is
ahead.
the new season's coming out this year, so it's good to like kind of remind yourself what's going on. Also, you want to check out the spin-off show Gen V,
Yes.
which is really good. I don't know if have you seen Gen V? Put it on. You got to put it on. That's a
Put
good.
it's going on
Write
the
it
list.
down,
Gen V is,
Jordan.
have you seen
I've got it.
I haven't seen that one. No.
Ooh, that's a great one. You guys should definitely check because
Ooh.
it gives actually helps lead into the new season of The Boys.
Oh really?
It does.
Oh, that's so exciting.
There's some stuff that goes on at the end. And oh yeah, and if my esteemed floors have anything, let's see if they have anything. The entire Conjuring series in timeline order. Interesting. It's a process. I would say the first Nun. Ooh, that's hard to get through. Cowboy Bebop.
That's
yes.
a good one.
OG. Oh no,
Yeah,
no live
no
action,
live
just the
action.
OG show. Okay,
OG
where do you
show
find
is
that
good.
at? Is it
Netflix.
Netflix? Okay, it is
Yes.
on Netflix. Now Nolan's got one more.
Ooh,
Invincible.
That is
yes,
good too.
Invincible is. They're like halfway through the first season.
That's
Like,
true.
Have you guys even? Have you?
I've seen a little bit of it, but I prefer The Boys.
You prefer The Boys?
but
Okay. Okay.
I don't know.
But no, I mean it's in the middle of its newest season, but it's still a great. It's basically The Boys, but different. It is in cartoon form. Come on, it is. As far as the profanity, the blood and guts, the action,
Yeah.
superheroes. So what you got? What's one you got for us?
Since we're on the topic of vampires, and we've been talking very heavily about that today, Lost Boys. Lost Boys is
cannot stress
the
it
best vampire movie
Yes.
ever made. It's not cliche, it's not dumb, it's genuinely really 80s. So if you're a big 80s fan, go
my
for
gosh.
it. It's so good.
Preach
I love
it,
it.
sister. Yes.
I have not seen that yet.
So, have you really not seen it yet?
You
I
would
would've
love
expected
it.
you
You
to
would
see
love
it.
it. I think you would love it.
Okay, I'll have to
It's
check
not
it
like
out.
the cliche Twilight.
No.
It's good.
No,
Okay.
you
It's
would like
really
it.
good.
You really would.
love it.
Okay.
And it's
Oh,
got.
yeah.
Oh, I had his name. He's in the Goonies.
Kiefer Sutherland, or not Kiefer Sutherland. It has Kiefer Sutherland.
it does have him.
I know who you're talking
He's
about.
one of the Goonies.
Josh Brolin.
No,
I'm looking it up. I'm looking it up really quickly.
I had his name earlier. Now I can't think about
yeah.
it. But
Corey Feldman.
Corey
Oh,
Feldman.
Corey Feldman.
He's in it.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
He's good.
No, he is.
He's good.
he has like a funny,
Yeah.
he's like a funny side
But
character.
you would like it. All joking aside, it's
Yeah.
not cliche. It's actually extremely good.
Okay.
You would love it.
So there's another one I have real quick, and we'll kind of go back around this way. It's another one on Amazon Prime, and it's not very people know about this, but when I watched this first season, I was hooked within the first episode, and I was locked in. And I'm actually extremely excited for season 2. They haven't given. It's supposed to come out sometime soon this year, but they haven't said anything. But it's called
Sometime.
The Outer Range with Josh Brolin. He's a rancher, live out in the middle of nowhere, and all of a sudden a dark black hole shows up in his field. Doesn't know what it is, and then it evolves from there. And I'm telling you, as if you love sci-fi, this will blow your mind. Like, it's really great. And Josh Brolin, of course, he is a master of his craft as far as an actor goes, and he brings it in this film, and he is like one of the star roles in it. But it's real. I watched that last year, and I've been excited for the new season ever since.
That's cool. I haven't even heard of this. This is
not,
already.
that's why I wanted to bring it up, because not very people have heard of it, because it's like one of those, because like during that time, the Wheel of Time was coming out, all these much bigger ones were like taking the spotlight. But when I saw it and I saw the trailer, I watched the first episode, I was hooked.
Yeah.
And I think if like I said, if you're a fan of sci-fi dramas, it'll hook you too, sort of.
That's
thing, so.
really cool.
But what you got? You got anything else for
aliens.
us?
Okay, so I know I talked about this one maybe a few more times, but Saltburn. Okay, so this is a good movie. It's
Oh
a
my
little
God, Nolan's face.
a little crazy. Wait, have you
Nolan
seen
thinks.
it? I'm
I
just
think Nolan's seen it.
I'm just saying. Yeah, it's a little crazy, but like
A little.
it's
a lot of
I've
crazy.
seen
I
worse.
like it.
though.
I like it crazy in a good way. I like it. You refuse
Sam
to
refuses
see.
to
Sam
watch it.
refuses to
No,
see
thank
it.
you.
No, come on. I think you would actually like. Okay, maybe not. Actually, maybe not. Now that I think about it, maybe not. But it just it takes you one way and then it goes a different way, then it goes another way, and it just I like that. I like where I can be like confused until like the end where it like explains everything. Then I'm like, oh, that was a good
I
idea.
see.
Exactly. But
Gotcha.
That's a really good one. All right, what you got?
I have a list.
I do have
but-
a list too. So start off some, and we'll kind of go
But
around.
the only other show that I really wanted to heavily talk about, if you have not seen it, you have to watch it. My dad and I watched 3 seasons of it in a week, is Ted Lasso. It's
I've
on
heard
Apple
it's a great
TV.
show.
It will change your life. It is so good. The character development is absolutely amazing, to the point where season 1 you go, I don't know that guy. I can't remember his name, but you know that character, that guy. To season 3, you're like, oh, you made Isaac mad? You're in trouble. It was created by Jason Sudeikis, who I was like, Jason Sudeikis, interesting. He is so phenomenal in it.
I've heard he is.
You would love it. You would love it too.
Yeah.
Everyone
This
in
looks
this room
Well, didn't he
would
win?
love
Didn't he
it.
win some Emmys for
Oh,
it?
a
Yeah, I think he won a
lot.
ton of Emmys
It's
for it.
so good. It'll change the way you view people. It'll change
Ooh.
how you treat people.
That's
It is
cool.
amazing. Check
Okay.
it out. If you haven't seen it, Ted Lasso, Apple TV. Fantastic.
There's some
Put 'em on
good
list.
stuff going on at Apple TV.
There are. They've just
Um,
been throwing out bangers recently.
There was an alien invasion show I watched on there. I think it's just called Invasion. That one's
think
really good
so.
too. It's just a basic, alien invasion, thing. But I liked it. I think it was
have
really
some
good. And then
good-
also the Godzilla Monarch
Yep.
show. That one's actually pretty good. If you guys haven't checked that one
That's
out.
good. Have you
Um,
heard of Hijack that they made? I haven't seen it yet, but I'm pretty sure it's called Hijack. And I believe, if I'm right, the entire show is on an airplane. And that is the only location.
Oh.
There's nothing else.
I think I have heard of this though. Yeah.
I've been looking
Ooh,
for
that
one.
that seems kind of scary.
Another one I like that I really recommend. It's on Netflix. It's a dubbed TV show. It's I can't remember where exactly it comes from. I'll have to look that up to be sure. But it's a I think it says here it's a French
Oh yeah.
French TV
Ooh.
show, I think. But they dub it for English. Not many people know about it. Again, it's one of these gems I just happened to come across when I was on Netflix. It's called Into the Night. And it's got 2 seasons on it, and it actually has its own little spin-off show that helps lead into it. Have any of you guys ever heard of this? Again, not a lot of people
Into
have.
the Night.
But it's a dubbed English dubbed show. It's at 89% on Rotten Tomatoes. The idea of it is that at the start of the first episode, these people get on a plane. There's this Italian security guy who gets on the plane by force with a gun and tells them to take off. And all you know is that these people on the plane have to run from the daytime, because when the sun rises, if you're in public when the sun rises, you die, and you got to figure out why people are dying when the sun rises. So they're literally on this plane running into the night constantly, having to stay in the dark so that they don't get hit by the sun.
I gotta write that down. That
Yeah.
sounds really, really
It's
cool.
really good. The 2 seasons, I'm
sounds
actually
good.
rewatching it right now because the 3rd season is supposed to come out this year. And I can't remember the spinoff, but when you go to more like this, it'll have its
It'll
spinoff
show
show
up.
after that you'll watch, because there's a cliffhanger at season 2 where somebody shows up with the characters you already know, and you're like, well, who's this person? This spinoff show tells you who that person is.
Oh, okay.
It's really clever.
Interesting.
It's a really good show. I highly recommend it.
That's cool.
All right, so what about you? What else you got for us?
I do have one more.
One
pretty
more.
much.
Okay.
But
I have one more as well.
Again, not new, but
okay.
I don't know. I like some classic stuff, and maybe you guys have seen this. So it's a show called The Following, and it has Kevin Bacon in it.
I have heard of it.
Yes.
I have heard of it.
Oh my
Hang on.
gosh. So Kevin Bacon is I don't know if he was like a retired detective or if he still is like a detective, but basically there's like this serial killer guy, and he has like these followers that are like supporting him, and so Kevin Bacon is trying to like catch him and stuff like that, and it's this whole it's so good, but I also just really like crime stuff, so that's really neat. But
That's actually awesome, because my last one actually is a crime.
Oh, really?
It segues really well into it. Sadly, there's only 2 seasons, and there will never be a 3rd. That's because Netflix would not work with David Fincher on this show to make it how he wanted to. But these 2 seasons alone are worth like filmmaking TV shows. The Mindhunter is on Netflix. That show, yes, Sam, thank you. It's on your list, but it's David Fincher for a TV show. Watching him direct a TV show was like, you've seen him in movies, like you see how he does that, but how he's able to craft a TV show the way he does with this, it's basically set in the 60s, 70s time frame in this area. It's about 2 FBI agents who basically invented how we analyze and try and predict serial killers today. Because they interview like they interview people like Ed Kemper. They interview help me out here, guy in California, cult guy, Charles Manson. They interview Charles Manson, but they interview a lot of different serial killers who like prolific ones, so they can get into the minds of them to try and help predict future ones. But then they also they also help local law enforcement to solve other murders or solve other serial killers to catch them. It's a really great show. I mean, to me, it's David Fincher at his finest for me personally, and yeah, I couldn't recommend that one even more.
That's really cool.
Any last more before we sign off?
One.
And
I genuinely think you should try to do this. I'm not just making a joke. I feel like everyone jokes about it. One time I did watch all 3 Lord of the Rings extended version in a day. You have to cancel your plans.
High fives with that one.
You have to cancel plans.
Yes.
In one day.
In one day. We started at like 8 a.m. I remember passing 1 a.m.
Yep.
You just hunker through.
When did you start it? What time?
8 a.m.
8 a.m.
Oh, 8 a.m.
And then we went through, and I remember passing 1 in the morning. But I'm genuinely serious.
Yes.
You try it. It's fun. If you're a fan of them,
That's cool.
It's a day.
I knew
It's
there's a
fun.
reason we were friends.
Oh,
because
yeah, that's cool. Oh, yeah.
That's me. Like, I've done that before. I can't
sit
sit
through
through movies.
movies.
That's okay, because they're so long that you
It's
wake
fair.
up and you're still back in Lord of the Rings.
That's true. You're
still back in
You're
there.
still
Catch up
there.
halfway through.
That's funny.
That's a great recommendation,
But
especially
you
if you're
should
just like
try
hanging
it.
out with your friends or something to watch together. Because they are. They're really good. And the extended editions, each of them are like 4 hours long or something like that.
Are you
4 or 5
willing
hours
to
long.
watch it again?
I am.
Because my sister won't watch that with me.
We'll do it. Let's plan a day.
Let's do it
You
again.
and I are gonna plan a day.
Oh, that'd be
You'll
fun.
like memorize the lines at this point.
I will. I'll do it. I'm ready.
That's perfect.
All right, folks, that would do this for today. Thank you so much for watching. More importantly, what are some other TV shows or movies you recommend for other people to watch or for us to check out?
Oh, yeah.
Leave your comments in the section below. Let us know your thoughts. Also, if you like what you watched, hit that like button and punch that subscribe channel so you can receive all of our great content we have for you here on Red Digital and for my channel, ReelTime.
Oh, yeah.
We have Cinema Sit Down, Friendly Fire, the D&D show. We have all great stuff for you here on on Red
Cinema
Digital.
Sit
You
Down.
do not want to miss.
No.
That's all we have for you today. Again, I'm Josh Williams,
I'm Jordan Burke.
And I'm Addie.
and thank you for keeping it real with ReelTime.
Real time.